to this very special keynote speech of Leonid Boguslavsky. I see many familiar faces. There's a mixed audience today. Some of you are students, some of you are guests, some of you are members of our community. I see One Ragtime, the venture capital fund as well here. So I have the honor of introducing Leonid to you. How many of you, first of all, have heard or know Leonid and his work?
Wow.
Great. So I won't take long, but I just want to say a few things that had impressed me as we met for the first time yesterday, and we've spent a day until now together. And I have not seen in my life until now anyone with bigger willpower. I think Leonid is a person that if he sets his mind on something, on a goal, and he achieves it, and I mean, a lot of people say they will achieve something, but I haven't really experienced on a physical level anybody with such a strong willpower. And I hope you guys will feel it also by the end of the talk. And the second thing is, personally, as you know, I run a university, right? And a university in some way is about giving back or giving the knowledge to the people, right? It's about giving. And what I really liked to hear yesterday when we met with Leonid was that he said he made a decision, a conscious decision. If anybody approaches him, and that's what Habour.Space did, with a request to give a talk, he tries to do it, to share with people the knowledge that he had earned, probably very hard. I mean, we hopefully will be hearing not just about successes, but also the reasons for the failure, etc. And I respect this immensely, because one of the missions of Habour.Space, and I hope all of you guys pick up on that mission after this talk today, and I hope it will find a little bit of a reflection in Leonid's talk today with us, is that if you have a chance to support someone in this life, please do. Because, you know, we all live here like butterflies, like, you know, not for a long time on the planet. So mathematically, it makes sense to share, I would say. So thank you guys for coming here today, for sharing with us your time. Leonid, just some facts about him that kind of, you know, that I'd like to share with you is, first of all, he's one of the earliest investors, often the first investor in startups. So he is the one who makes a call on whether, you know, on a PowerPoint very often, right? It's just a PowerPoint, there's nothing, there's a person, a founder, and him. And many of those calls were right calls. So right now, you know, he's got over 100 companies in his portfolio, and 8 of these companies are unicorns. And we're, you know, not talking about companies like, you know, with 1 or 2 billion valuations, like, you know, there's a really huge companies, very known companies. For example, Delivery Hero is a company that he literally created. You know, it was an idea, and the guys sat down in an office in Berlin and, you know, just came up with it. And I think it's incredible, right? It's the power of creativity right here, right? And then the will and the ability to go and, you know, to go people reader, right? Because, as I said, it's just a PowerPoint. And it's sports. Sports plays a huge part in his life, and I also hope that Leonid will explain a crazy thing, you know, because he started doing sports only at 62. And the story that you're going to hear today, the story that I heard yesterday, shook me completely. Like, I have not heard anything like that ever, and I don't think you will hear, or maybe we will never hear. So, if I had to describe Leonid in one word, this word would be a legend. So, without further ado, let me introduce, and please big round of applause to Leonid. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lana, and thanks everybody who came today. It's a hot day, and I understand that's also vacation time, maybe for not for all of you, but for many. So it's great to see such an audience, and it's my it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. So probably, is it here well? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This. No. Then no, it's either or. It's either or. It's okay.
No. Because it's better to fix the problem now. I think. Yeah. Could you give us this mic and we give you this mic? Sorry about it. We're still learning how to do events, as you can see. No, it's not the first time. A human error. Huh? Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Old-fashioned. Yeah. Let me. Maybe I will tell my story just because it's probably you'll understand where I came from. So I graduated from university as a computer scientist. So in my first life, I was pretty good mathematician and scientist. So I have a doctorate degree. I ended my scientific career as a professor in University of Toronto, computer science department. I published more than 100 papers and 3 books in computer science. But then I got another dream. Then I became entrepreneur. I started my first IT company, computer company, primarily IT service software company in Russia. I was lucky to get an exclusive distributorship agreement with Oracle Corporation for the former Soviet Union territory. It was 1990. So I grew this company from 5 people to one of the major IT company in Russia. And I sold this company to PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, back in 1997. I became a senior partner of PwC, the head of management consulting. At the same time, my scientific work was in the field which is named performance evaluation and modeling of computer systems and computer networks. That was my PhD thesis and doctorate thesis around this. So with the math methods, I was evaluating protocols, communication protocols, which in the future, then later on, became base of internet. And because of this knowledge in PwC, in addition to being head of management consulting, I was what they named e-business leader for Central and Eastern Europe. So as an e-business leader, I was able to visit startups. It's end of 90s. I was able to visit startups, conferences, and I decided, so I told myself, I knew because of, I knew technology, I could more or less forecast what could happen. I believe that internet will change the world, and I wanted to move to investments. Yeah, because with the sales of my company to PwC, I got money, and together with 3 American investors, we founded the very first investment firm in Russia named Runet Holdings. And it was very successful because we became first investors in Yandex. I was also investing in EPAM at that time, first investor in Ozon, the largest Russian e-commerce company, and a couple others. So portfolio was small, but very successful. The important thing was, and I will probably come later to this, that all my life, my dream was to become a global, not just to be very successful in one country, but to do global business at my venture, either it's IT company or in this case, the investment firm will become a really global firm. So when Yandex made the IPO, it was 2011. I got enough liquidity to start implementing this dream. So in the end of 2011, I opened an office in New York, and we started. And strategically, I told my team that we will be investing in United States, in Europe, and in India. I picked up India because I thought it's 2011. I thought that India was even behind Russia, and knowing how internet was developed and how companies been developed, it looks like coming to India, I thought that I know what will be tomorrow. And with this knowledge, we started India. Now, today is just like a short introduction. Let me start this. Yes. So today we have investment offices we have 7 investment offices. It's New York, London, Bangalore in India, Amsterdam, and Paris. In Amsterdam, we have our IT technology, basically CTO group is in Amsterdam, and in Paris we have research, our research, internal research group. So we've done investments in 15 countries. So far, our portfolio is more than 100 companies. So currently, our fund is RTP3, which is $650 million fund. In addition to this, we have a seed fund, 50 million, based in United States. We have also opportunity fund, which is 250 million. Opportunity fund means that if one of our companies in portfolio is really becoming very successful and we want to invest more, but our reserves in the current fund are not letting us to provide bigger check. So we're taking money from the opportunity fund, and so we can double down on certain good, great companies. Four of our initial investors, early investments, become decatrons, and overall we have 8 public companies which are more than unicorns. But also in portfolio right now already, I think about 5 companies growing with valuations more than 1 billion. Here are just 3 examples. Probably at this point, from being a public company, that's probably the most successful being our early investments. Like Lana said, for Delivery Hero, it's a quite interesting story because I'm not just investor, I'm co-founder of the Delivery Hero. And you can see that, so the company which we founded in end of 2011, IPO'd in 2017 with as a 4.5 billion public company, before current crisis, whatever. So now, of course, many companies have valuation was down to a certain extent. Delivery Hero was, I think, like 35 billion at the beginning of the year. Yandex, I invested in Yandex at $10 million valuation, and it was a very successful investment. So company made IPO in 2011 and as a $8 billion company. The largest success so far we have with the US company Datadog. Datadog is a very interesting company. It's a cloud monitoring and cloud security company. So their software tools helps developers and administrative people to monitor what's going on in the cloud with applications. So they can monitor all applications of organization and provide data on this. So Datadog, the investment in Datadog was made, it's really a huge success. It was made at valuation 11 million. And even now, Datadog is about 40 billion company. And the good thing is that I tried not to sell shares. Even at IPO, I didn't sell a single share. Okay. So this is just, let's say, our thesis. So as a fund. So the initial check. So we are early stage investor, primarily round A, but also doing seed and round B from time to time. Investment period is 5 years, but that is just formally on a paper, because in the reality is that we don't need to sell even in 5 years. For example, the longest investor in the company in which I was really for a long time, for example, was Ozone, where I was investor 19 years, 19. In Yandex, 12 years. In Datadog, already 12 years. So it's very flexible. So 5 years is just documentation. So the geography was already quite broad. So it's Europe, India, Southeast Asia, North America, which means US and Canada, and also South Asia, which means Pakistan. So when we put MENA, which is Middle East and North Africa, but also Pakistan. We just started this region in November, last November, and we already have seven investments in this region. It's new region for us. It's expansion. The key sectors you can see, probably you all guys interested in these sectors. So it's health tech, education tech, entertainment, fintech. Insure, very important for us is BI, enterprise software, and also future of work. Also quite interesting area, which just emerged not emerged like several years ago. So this is how we search companies, so it's of course through network of partners, friends, technology platforms, friendly funds. Important. We have many co-investments with Sequoia in India. We also have other funds as partners in Europe, in the United States. So we are considering more than 3,000 opportunities per year, and we're making 15, 25 deals a year. So it's quite a process. We also developed a sourcing engine for ourselves. So we have a technology and software, it's in-house, which are searching what's going on with the founders on the social networks, on a LinkedIn. We have certain criteria. For example, if we see that company is hiring more than X people within a month, or there is certain, they're asking for hire, it means that we need to have a look at this startup, which means that startup is growing, could be successful. In couple things we are probably not unique, but we are unusual. First thing is that with such a territorial spread, we are one team. Many funds have, I don't know, for example, Sequoia has Sequoia India and Southeast Asia. It's a separate fund, separate team. Yeah, on the very top, they are coordinating some stuff, but it's a separate team. And many funds are like this. So territorially, we are quite global already. But my idea was initially that it should be one team, because then there is a lot of knowledge sharing, and there is a cross. There is a certain value which, for example, US partners could provide for Indian partners and vice versa, and also between startups. So this means that we easily could connect startup with the similar type of company or industry in a different region. So we have one investment committee. So when we have Monday meetings, which is each our Monday meetings is actually divided by 3 sub meetings, which is pipeline review, portfolio review, and partner meeting each Monday. And all the team is participating from 7 offices. This is just explaining, for example, our current fund, 650 million, so that 260 is for initial investments, 130 is to support portfolio between rounds, and another 260 million to grow the stake in the most interesting companies. Plus, I mentioned opportunity funds. So on top of this, there is also 250 million to increase checks in cases we love company and we believe that we need to put more money. Yeah, that's it about me and RTP. Now Lana asked me to, before we'll move to questions, to tell how I behave, or what's motivate me, or what my, I would say, tools, my personal tools, doing in my activity. And I think that's important, especially for the young audience. The most important thing is that even when I was a very young child, not child, but like, let's say, I don't know, 10 years old, 11 years old, and up to now, I always living with certain dreams. For me, dreaming is very important. And dream, and this is my first tool, which is more precisely is the following. So that, and this is what I advise you. So each individual who wants to be successful needs to define for himself what activity he likes, and then to have a dream to become number one in this activity. Absolutely number one. So the best. Yes, many of us will not probably reach this target, but when we have such a dream and we are climbing to this target, we will anyway reach pretty high level. Maybe not exactly the dream, but pretty high level. But it's very important to have a very ambitious dream for yourself. But when I'm saying dream, I actually even defining what is dream. Dream is something that you believe could be reached with probability 10–20%, not more. If more than 20%, then it's a goal. This is a goal, objective, but not real dream. Dream is not imagine that you are another Messi and you can go to the field and play like Messi. That would be a fantasy. But so dream has to have probability not equal to 0. But very important that it will be very small probability. Then it's real dream. Another thing, and I had dreams in all my, this is what I'm saying, like first life as a scientist, then as entrepreneur, then consultant, then investor. In each of this life, I had a dream. And in some cases, I reached my dream. And interestingly, that I was, when I was reaching dream, I cannot find another one in the same activity. I was changing activity. So this is why, for example, I stopped being a scientist, because I thought that I'm not genius mathematician, and the results I got are been pretty impressive. So one pretty famous mathematician told me that, Leonid, this is results which you are lucky if you can do the same in 10 years. And I thought, no, that means that my dream is, I reached my dream, I need another dream. So another tool which is very important, if you are not, at least for me, was to meet people, not to sit just and this is why I always, if I really have time and I am invited to go somewhere to meet certain people, I always was going. And it's happened that certain great opportunities came just because I was going somewhere. And I have the following, I have a following explanation. So each of us, everyone, are getting opportunities. Some people more, some people less, but there are certain opportunities, okay? So if you can recognize opportunity, because many people just don't see them. So there is opportunity, but they don't see opportunity. That's some other people see opportunity, but they don't want to leave their current comfort, I would say. They don't want to take a risk. They see that's interesting, but I'm okay now. Who knows what will happen? So they're not jumping on opportunity. So I'm always jumping on opportunity. This is the. Sometimes I'm taking a huge risk jumping on opportunity. But important thing is to increase, like we as mathematicians will say, to increase the space of opportunities, and to increase the space of opportunities so that there will be more opportunities you can see. You need to meet people. You need to go to certain places. Regardless, it could be a dinner with the new people. Could be a conference. It could be some talks and things like that. So you are increasing the space from which opportunity are coming. Another is that if you evaluate opportunity and think that this opportunity could be valuable for you, you need to jump on it. So you need to take certain risk. And if you are fail, that's fine. You shouldn't be scared to fail. I made so many mistakes, so many, but I love to make mistakes and failure, because going through mistakes, you are learning a lot. Mistakes are experience, so you need to really appreciate failures and mistakes, because you are becoming stronger. Going through problems, through mistakes, through failures, you are becoming stronger, you're learning a lot. So it's like paying for studying something. And another important thing is if you are founder of startup, and even if it's not startup, the most important thing is the team. So already for many years, my leadership for my team is not that I'm issuing orders or I'm making decisions. I decided that I need to have very strong and very talented partners to second, let's say I'm here second level, and they need to behave as entrepreneurs in the firm, in the investment firm, which means that they are making decisions. That's fine for me if they're doing mistakes and we're losing money. I never becoming angry because of this, because I know that they are smart people and they will just learn through mistakes. And in our firm, for many years, I have only one important right. It's a veto right. So I'm not making decisions, but I can veto the decision and explain why I veto. And then there should be another decision. But I'm not communicating what decision should be. I'm communicating why this decision is not right. But they need to create themselves another decision. Probably in many companies, you have the situation when a manager is coming to the boss with a problem and saying, boss, you know what, we have this problem. So it's basically, he's like throwing hot potato to the boss, and then boss, so what we should be doing? If this is first time, I'm issuing a warning signal that next time I will fire such a person, because anyone should come to you with optional decision. It could be wrong decision. You can say, no, we are not do this because of this and this, and go and think about another decision. But that not, people, if you're, let's say, deputies, if your managers who are under you, they are coming to you and looking that, you know, you need to come up with decision yourself, and you are founder and CEO of startup, you don't have the right people in the company. And it will be problem, maybe not now, but it could be problem when company will grow and people still think that you are the boss and your leadership is to make decisions. So my leadership is, and I believe in this, my leadership and what I do is to build the team and the culture. And that's it. That's the only thing I have. So build a team, culture, and have a veto right. And that's it. So that's important. Thank you very much. I think I think that it will be more available to listen to your questions and answer your questions.
All right, so we will have now some 20 minutes or so reserved for Q&As, and that can be any question related to Leonid, maybe more personal, more inspiring, maybe more to his portfolio. Who had the first question? Yeah, right here.
Guys, when you ask questions, can you introduce yourself, where you come from, what you do, and why you're here?
Yes, hi. I'm a part of Habour.Space community. Actually, I came to Barcelona because of Sveta. I have my company here, and we know each other through our mutual friends. I will introduce myself a little bit later. My question: it's self-evident that the current geopolitical situation has impacted venture capital world, and most of the VCs right now are in standby mode, waiting. Then the situation will be resolved. How do you see it? What to expect when the situation will get back to normal?
Well, first of all, we didn't make any changes in our activity. So we are continuing to doing investments. We'll be launching RTP4 fund at the end of the year. The fund will be more than 1 billion, and it's already, you know, something, I don't know, something crucial should happen so that we will not launch another fund. So we are, you know, the thing is that for early stage investments, valuations doesn't change much. It's primarily the issue for late stage companies. After, let's say, starting from, sometimes from B, in many cases round C, so late stage companies, yeah, valuation is, so there are, there is not such a hype that was before, but we don't see dramatical change, and so we are just doing business as usual. And even more interestingly, yeah, you understand that we have Russian roots, but we don't have a single employee in Russia. So the firm is about 50 employees. It's interesting, by the way, story, because of course the initial team, which is still with me now for 15 years, there are partners who are with me for 15 years, and they all joined me after universities, and so they grew from junior analysts to senior partners. So this initially Russian team is now about 20% of our team, the whole team, because, and interestingly, so we have as partners and directors and principals and analysts, we have people from United States, we have Brits, we have French, we have Dutch, we have Morocco, we have Indians, of course. So like, I think we counted like 12 nationalities in the firm. And even when the war started, not a single person quit, even knowing that, you know, originally I'm Russian. So, and we don't have problems with the, we have issues, but we are fixing them with the banks, with the lawyers, with administrations, with fund administrators, things like that. So, because they are doing their risk assessment, but as so far, we're okay.
I think you had a question.
Did I answer your question?
Hello, my name is Robert. I'm a student here. When you are saying that as a CEO you should worry about or focus on the team and the culture, how do you find the right team? What attributes are you looking for in the people, and what values or what cultural values are you transcending across different projects?
No, the process is pretty. There's nothing unique. So we are interviewing people, and but we have many interviews. I think not less than 5 people interviewing newcomers, and of course we're collecting references, and for the partner level, it's interesting that we actually build the team quite significantly over pandemic period, over the last 2 years. And you can imagine that there have been certain hires where it was just Zoom interviews through Zooms. But if it's for a partner position, then of course I'm meeting. So we are flying to a certain place where we can meet and spend 2-3 days together. And I'm trying to feel, so to get a feeling how this person thinks, how he behaves in a certain situation, things like that. The most important for me is that so that he has a kind of entrepreneurial spirit. Maybe even he wasn't entrepreneur, but he has an entrepreneurial spirit. He is hard worker, he is hungry, and he believes in our mission strategy, because of course I am sharing. They're asking anyway, what's the dream? One thing, by the way, I will give you a tip to each of you. The tip is the following, which I created and I made it last year in October. So there was a staff meeting. We all been in London from all offices. Everybody came in London, and of course, you know. Anyway, I think most of you are getting questions from your partners, from your employees. So what's our future? Where we'll be? What's the dream? And things like that. So I've done the following. I wrote press release. Firm press release from our firm to mass media, no like usual press releases, writes. But press release was dated October 2031. So basically, I thought, and I put on paper what I want to tell people and market in 10 years about us. So, of course, press release was because of certain event, but in press release, I, of course, described the firm, who we are, where we are, what we achieved, and things like that. So I would recommend, even if you are not in even if you want to, if you are a scientist or wants to become a scientist for any activity, so try to create a real dream for yourself and try to write a press release. Couldn't be not 10 years, but let's say 5 years from now, fine. 10 years probably to some people is a quite long period of time, but let's say 5 years. Who you want to be in 5 years and how you want to communicate this outside.
Hello, my name is Victor. I'm professor of marketing in Skolkovo Business School in Moscow, and I'm waiting when Svetlana will launch a marketing stream here in this school, because I think that marketing rules. So a quick one. There's always a crossroad when you either invest in some business or you start some business. One way is to do something that you really love and you really think that it will bring some good to the world. And another way is to invest in something that will definitely bring you money. So I had lots of investments in the first part. All of them failed. We didn't change the world. We had a big fun, lost a lot of money. So what's your position on that? Do you have some balance investing in things you trust and where you definitely will earn some money? How do you balance your investments?
It's a very good question, and in my case, it's very simple. I never prioritize my dreams, goals, objectives by money. I never thought that I'm doing this to earn, I don't know, X million dollars, whatever. And I found out that it's very important. So my priority is to either to create myself or to be involved, and this is investment, in case of investment, in outstanding project. To make certain project very successful, regardless of money, regardless. So the whole, it always was like this, because all my dreams, when I was, my first startup, I wasn't thinking about money. I was thinking, I want to, for example, that market will consider that we have the smartest and the strongest technology people, and I want that and I want certain reputation and image. And it's interestingly that money-wise, I'm successful just because it came later. So money was, if you are doing successful projects, then money are coming. Many people are thinking, okay, how I earn money? But it doesn't mean, of course, that you should not think about money, but it's a matter of priorities. So money is a second, in my case, money is a second. The first is to do successful project. The project could be to find the proof of, of a very difficult theorem, like it was when I was mathematician. I wasn't thinking about money, and maybe because when I was mathematician, I didn't think about how much my salary and how much increase I will get. So my goal, my dream was to get result, mathematician result, and probably because of this experience, I'm going through, through the business the same way. I want result not in number of whatever dollars, euros, but in terms of successful project.
Okay, questions from this side as well?
Thank you. Thank you, Leonid. Very interesting talk. My name is Joel. I'm French. I used to live in Moscow for 12 years, and now I moved here in Barcelona 4 years ago. I run my own corporate finance advisory firm, and I'm also an angel investor on occasion. I wanted to ask you if you could share... chess grandmaster as well. Yeah, this was my first profession. So just like you were a mathematician, I used to be a chess professional for many years. And so my question is... Oh, I'll be happy to give a few tips if you like. So my question is, drawing back from my chess experience, I know how important it is to learn from defeats, from tough games and tough tournaments. What is an event in your life that has taught you a lot? A failure, or perhaps not a failure, but something you really learned from that you could maybe tell us about. And the second question, if I may, I understand that you're living and following your dreams. Judging from the outside, your investor dream is probably close to completion by now. Are you still living it, or are you thinking about the next dream already?
Okay, actually, I made a lot of mistakes. This is why I love mistakes, because I think that I'm strong because of my mistakes. They've been, and each mistake is a lesson. Now, I will just give you one example. Mistake by which I lost a lot of money. So there is a pretty known incubation business model which Rocket Internet is doing. So the model was that they are very quickly trying to consider successful model, business model that was created, a startup in the United States created. They're picking up this model. They're developing quickly engine software for this, and then they are doing rollouts to 15 countries. 15 countries. And this model being successful, okay? Then in certain big countries like India, Russia, Brazil, local entrepreneurs decided to do the same. So they've been in the country, they've been like having this kind of investment holding, and they've been creating these startups based on a successful model, which is, for example, from US. So same as Rocket Internet is doing, but in one country. So Rocket Internet, in this model, the people who are they named founder and CEO is actually hired guns. It's a hired guns. They're offering them 10% of equity at the beginning. From the marketing perspective, they named their founders. But in reality, many of these people been consultants from Big Four or McKinsey, Bain, Boston Consulting Groups, like this. So then, and I invested in, I think, in 3 or 4 with Rocket Internet. By the way, one became very successful. It's now multi-billion dollar euro company, not public yet, and named SumUp. It's a payment. It's a payments. So but I also did the same with such entrepreneur in India and in Russia. And all of them been disaster. Just all. The whole portfolio. In Russia been, I think, like 4 companies. Yeah, 4 companies. In India, there were 4 companies. And it was disaster. We lost a lot of money. So all this company failed. And they failed because of attitude of founder, CEO, because he thinks, okay, it's not his baby, right? If something will go dust, so he will find another job. That's not real founder. But the most important thing is that Rocket Internet was successful with this model because launching and rolling out this model in 15 countries, they are then closing, let's say, 10 countries where it's not successful. But in 5 companies, with these 5 countries, they are okay, or even in a couple countries, they're successful. It's a geographical portfolio. But these guys with whom I invested in Russia and in India, it's just one country. It's one country. So I stopped doing this because if I see and it's for me big issue if I see the hired CEO founder, whom the company actually founded by investor, and he hired founder CEO. It's an issue, big issue for me. This is just an example of the lessons. There are many lessons like this. Regarding dream, like I said, I made a press release for 2031, so my dreams are there. So I want RTP Global to reach and implement everything which is in that press release. So I have my agenda for another 10 years.
You want to tell us the number of money you lost?
Yes.
Just asking.
Close to 200 million. Yeah, close to 200 million. I even counted the number of mistakes. I think it's been like 35 mistakes.
All right, on to the next question. Yes.
Hello, my name is Ivan. I'm a deep learning researcher. I left my laboratory in St. Petersburg that I founded a year ago because of the anti-war position. And now with the community of tech professionals and founders who left Russia because of the anti-war position, we try to organize a conference that we want to call FailConf. That would be specifically dedicated to failures of people and sharing the experience of...
Very good.
Thank you. So I have two questions. One is a fast one. Would you care to present?
No, it's there is a.
I knew it would be fast.
There is a group, 300. We have a chat in WhatsApp.
Okay.
There is a group named Founders for Founders. And probably not every day, but I don't know, several times a week. I'm thinking what I've done to get to my dream, how I maybe change it or tune it a bit. So what else I need to add and things like that. And it's continuously brainstorming, for example, in my head. And so this has two results. First of all, then your mind is more and more focused on your dream, and and pushing you to take steps forward to get there. What you need to add, whom you need to help you, and things like that. Yeah, really, this is what I'm doing. Yeah. As I said, the most important is to create for yourself in what you want to be the best. The best. Maybe you will not get there, but if you are thinking about this, it's not fantasy. It's not like, oh, okay, well, that would be good, but okay, but I have something else to do. If you are really focused on this, you will probably not, even if you will not get there, but you will reach very high level. We will be very close to this dream.
Okay, thank you. We are approaching 1:30, so we'll do one or two more questions.
Sure.
Yes, hi, Leonid. My name is Philip. I'm from Russia. I moved here when the war started. I'm studying here a master's degree in product management. First of all, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with us. This is just amazing, the fact that you are able to share such gift. And also, I was astonished by the fact that you are still able, throughout those over 20 years of experience, follow your dreams and build your business on those core values that you mentioned. And therefore, I want to ask you, what do you think, do you plan to exit the Russian market in the future? Because you said one of your dreams is to be global, and it seems like there's nothing more global in there anymore. Are you planning to exit your positions right now, or you're not planning to do so?
We in RTP 1, RTP 2, and RTP 3, we don't have assets in Russia. We are not in the Russian market. We have very early, let's say, more than 12 years back from now, early investments. Our largest asset in Russia is online video, which is IVI, evi.ru, which is #1 in Russia. And it's not easy to exit. It's just one. But I actually co-founded IVI. It's another company which I co-founded, not just investor. I'm not just investor. And it was the first online video in Russia, and it's the largest one. Very successful. So, but it's already, I think, 14 years. So it's happened when, it's actually happened, investment happened when we even didn't start anything outside Russia. To happen, it's I think 2007 or 2008 investment. So right now, answering your question, like I said, we don't have employees in Russia, and funds don't have assets in Russia.
All right, one more question.
Thank you for the interesting talk, Leonid. My name is Ankit. I work with the VC, a venture fund housed here. It's almost an in-house fund of Habour.Space. I'll say we are called One Rec Time. I have two questions actually, one more on the professional side, one more on your personal side. The professional one is, I see that you have covered almost all of the geographies, excluding the Latin America and the China. So what is your opinion about like the projects, very interesting projects in China? That's one thing. And we started with your introduction, where we talked about some sports, which you started quite later in the your life, and we didn't talk much about it. So I would like to know what's your take on that, how you apply those principles in your life, because technically sports and leadership are quite intertwined together. So I would love to hear your opinion about that.
Okay, thank you for questions. Regarding China, so it was 2011 when I developed strategy, and I picked up India, not China. Why? Because China was already too big for us, I would say. And so already in China, you need to be able to do, to provide big checks. So India was more clear and interesting for me, because at that time it was like Russia 5 years ago. Like Russia, 5 years. Yeah, India was like about 5 years behind Russia in terms of development. And it's a huge country. So I thought if there is one country in Asia which I want to start, it should be India. And so it was very successful. For example, yeah, we're talking about 8 unicorns. But for example, in India, I was the first investor in a company named Cred. It's a fintech company. Cred is last round, I think close to 6 billion. It's a private company, last round close to 6 billion. And it's also an interesting story, because we invested in the first company of Kunal. Kunal is the founder of Cred, which was Free Charge, named Free Charge. And we successfully sold Free Charge to Snapdeal. And then when Kunal came with his idea, it was just idea. There was not prototype, nothing, just idea. And he said, my idea, my goodwill, evaluation, 30 million. Just imagine what reputation means, 30 million. And I said, yes, because the guy should be successful. And now it's a multi-billion-dollar company, and it's just, how many, 4 years? After 4 years or something like that. Yeah, so India is very successful for us, market. But also United States and Europe, like Datadog in United States and Delivery Hero in Europe. So yeah, we have now some up in Europe. We have Tier, which is also a billion-dollar company. You know this electric scooters. Tier is quite big in Europe. It's all our companies. Now, regarding sport. It's really a story which many people don't believe or whatever, or it sounds just crazy. The thing is that I never been coached by any coach for certain sport. No, of course I was playing tennis, like probably many of you are playing tennis. It doesn't mean that you have semi-professional coaching. I learned how to play tennis myself, maybe have had a few lessons. Yeah, I was pretty sportive. I was doing windsurfing and then kiteboarding for more than 10 years. I'm kite surfer. But again, it's just 3 days of lessons. There is no coaching, real coaching. So I was active. And so then it's happened accidentally. Maybe I was looking for for another activity or dream or whatever. So it's happened that a friend of mine gifted me a book. Actually, it's quite interesting book. I would recommend you to read it. It's, of course, it's in English. And the book, because the book was written by the famous triathlete, Australian, Chris McCormack. And the name of the book, and that's important, just listen how the book is named. We are here to win. We are here to win, which means to win in terms of your dream. And so the guy who gifted this to me, he said, look, Leonid, you are nothing to do with sport, but you are entrepreneur, business person, and just read this book as entrepreneur, because this book is about dreams, goals, and will to reach these dreams. I read the book, quite fascinating book, and I then thought, it's interesting sport. Let me check my endurance. So I went to the regular gym, just regular gym, which has a swimming pool. At that time, I couldn't swim freestyle. I could swim only like this, or like this, on the back. And I was, last time I was on a saddle on the bike, and this is truth. I'm not kidding. Was in school. From school till age of 62, I never cycled. So I came to the regular gym with the idea to try to do the Olympic distance in triathlon. No training, no preparation, nothing. I didn't know that there are shorter distances, which are sprint, which are twice shorter than Olympic distance. I didn't know that, and so because all this in this book there was just Olympic and Ironman and all this stuff, crazy stuff. And so I jumped in a swimming pool. Somehow I covered 1,500 meters, different styles. Then quickly I moved after swimming pool. I moved to the gym area. I sit on a bike, and I started to cycle 40 kilometers, and that was the most painful moment, because if your butt wasn't on a saddle for many years, then your butt doesn't like this. and after 20 kilometers, it was really painful, really painful. But I survived, and then I went to the treadmill and I jogged for 10 kilometers. So that's the distances for Olympic triathlon. And when I finished, I was so happy. I was like a kid. I was happy because there have been so many times somebody was telling me, "Did you just finish it? No, okay, quit. Why are you doing this?" But I was telling myself, no, I have to complete it. I've done it. I was happy that I've done it. Then I thought, how I can improve my my time result if I get some training with a professional coach. I called my friend and asked him, do you have a triathlon coach? He said, yes, I have. So he introduced me to a guy. We went to the bike shop. We bought the first bike, and I started training. And then, so in 2 months, I've done Olympic distance in Mallorca, by the way, in May. Just 3 months from first training. It went okay. Nothing impressive, but okay. And then I came to Miami for the half Ironman, which was, I think, beginning of October or end of September. Yeah, so it's like 5 months after first training day. And so my age group was 35 people. Mostly Americans, and after I finished, I packed my stuff, and I was going away from this park where it's all, and then I heard my name. They've been announcing my name, and so I returned back, and I saw that they're inviting me to the podium because I was third in my age group, and it was my first my first medal. And this is how it started. So I continued training. Then in 10 months, I did full Ironman in Chattanooga, in Tennessee, full Ironman. And I came second. There have been 66 people in my group. I was second. And it's first time I qualified for the World Championship in Kona. So over these years, I've done 6 full Ironmans, 12 half Ironmans. I qualified for the World Championship 3 times, and I just love to do this. And it's this year, the World Championship 2021 was moved from Hawaii to Utah because of COVID, to May. So. This this T-shirt is from Utah. So I was racing in St. George in Utah last May, and in October I will be racing in Hawaii in Kona because I qualified for 2022 as well. Yeah, that's fun. I can tell you, that's fun. My wife is always supporting me, you know. Telling me how many people in my age group are ahead of me or behind me. Yeah. Yeah, it's. I am saying that it's a fifth life. Like you can imagine the fun I have because I feel like I am a semi-professional athlete, 70 years old. I am training 12-15 hours a week.
So I need to ask, what's your best time in Olympic distance?
In Olympic distance, I don't know Olympic distance since then. I can tell you best time in half Ironman and full Ironman, but not in Olympic.
I've never done that distance, unfortunately. But Olympic, better than 2 hours 37?
Better than, I think, 240.
I can give you some lessons. It's okay.
Sure. How old are you? How old are you?
A little bit younger, maybe, just a little bit.
I want to know the time in the half Ironman and the
5:35. That's for half, and 11:40 for full.
Wow. Below 12. Below 12 is incredibly impressive.
At Chattanooga was
Incredibly
11:40. Yeah. In Chattanooga was actually 11:36. I remember my time.
Respect.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, We went a little bit aboard with the time, but I think we all learned something valuable here or there, no matter if it's on a professional or personal level. Especially, I love now that we are ending with triathlon. Amazing. And to finish it all off, I would like to say thank you for coming. Thank you.
By the way, since we talk about sport, that's a continuation of the story. Very interesting continuation. The thing is that then I met Chris McCormack, the guy who wrote this book. I met him and we decided to start a business, quite ambitious business project in sport. So we created the first commercial top league in the sport of triathlon, named Super League Triathlon, where all the best triathletes in the world are racing with us. It's a championship series. For example, this year championship series will start September 1st in London, Munich, Toulouse, Malibu in United States, and Saudi Arabia. We have 5 races. All medalists of Tokyo, so female, male, and relay, they are racing in our Super League. So, and this is, we created new formats which are interesting for TV because it's super sprints. So each round of bike, let's say swim, bike, run, is completed within roughly 17 minutes, and it's 3 rounds. So the whole competition is within an hour. So it's so dynamic and it's very interesting for TV. And so 160 countries are broadcasting our events. So this is how you use opportunity. I remember I was invited just to come to the conference. And I was thinking, because the conference was about endurance, and I was thinking, why I should go to this conference? But I said, no, go. Maybe there could be something interesting. And this is where I met Chris McCormack. And after this, we started talking about this. And this is how we came to this project. This is what I'm saying about the space from which opportunities could come. When you are meeting people, there are opportunities. Okay, thank you.
Another success story. Wow. So if anyone still has questions that they would like to ask Leonid, maybe more personally, we invite everyone now to go downstairs to the first floor where we prepared our CFO personal passion, meaning kava, ready for everyone, and some snacks downstairs as well. And on that note, I would also highly recommend to follow us on Instagram, Harbour.Space channel, if you want to stay up to date with all the events that we are usually organizing on a monthly basis. And last but not least, a big thank you also to Svetlana, who actually gave us the opportunity to meet Leonid today.
Actually, sorry, to another Svetlana. Actually, I'd like to thank Svetlana Klachko. And that's a story, guys, because, Svetlana was my first boss in a bank. Like, I was, literally, very first boss ever in my life was Svetlana, and I was very lucky. And, whenever you work for your first boss, make sure, you keep the relationship. And look, this relationship, many, many, many years ago, brought many, many, many incredible things. I think we've been in touch for all these years, and sort of, make sure you build your relationships, really. Always, always. Don't lose a single relationship. Make sure when even if you leave the company, make sure you can come back. Don't burn the bridges. Anyways, work on that. And then Svetlana introduced me to Mikhail. So Mikhail, thank you so much for sort of listening to the two ladies just a week before sort of the war started, and we were shocked a little bit about everything that unfolded later, but you've made it happen, right? And for Leonid to pick up the sort of the call and to come to Barcelona and share with us this time, this super valuable time. It's really beautiful gift for all of us, right, in the community. So I hope you guys enjoyed the talk, and it's not the last talk that I see you here. And we hopefully, thanks to your passion to come, we will be inspired to organize more talks like this. And hopefully Joel comes back and gives us lessons on chess. And, many of you here, I'd like you to speak, actually, to be the presenters here. Vili and Cyril, we'll see each other tonight. So, let's all meet, and hopefully you guys now downstairs meet each other as well, Not just Leonid, but also try to get to know everybody here, to take down to the practice the lessons that Leonid just told us here on the stage. Thank you so much. See you now downstairs. Thank you again. Thank you, Amir, for moderating.